Hey everybody! On this episode of Gaming and Collecting, me and Alex will be looking at the trilogy of films based off of LEGO's Bionicle series of toys and media. Let's see how they've held up over the years. But anyways, guys, on with the episode. So how you
Happy
been?
Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Hello, fellow kids.
Hello, fellow friends. How you doing today, Bill? When's the last time we potted? It was last Wednesday, right? So it's been a week.
Yeah.
You excited for this weekend?
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Rhode Island Anime Con. It's not the one for my cosplay. That one's going to be Kineticon because it's not done yet.
I'm a little concerned by some of the guest announcements I've seen because I've been like, oh.
Well, remember, it's put on by the Rhode Island Comic Con people. But it is still, newer.
Yeah. It's just really bad when I see a lot of the guest announcements and I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are.
Well, and some of it too is like, I feel like I still haven't seen a schedule. Which is okay, but I mean, because it's not like we're more going for like the, vendors and stuff, but it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. We'll have fun regardless. And
yeah, no, it'll
we
be
could go to Cheesecake Factory.
Oh.
Cheesecake.
And I can order a salad and you can order a sandwich and the waiter will probably assume the other way around
I
again.
usually get salads at Cheesecake Factory because they have the big honking salads.
I just think of that one time where I ordered the salad and you ordered the sandwich and the waiter totally gave me the sandwich and gave you the salad. And I was just like,
Yeah.
Way to assume, sir.
My favorite thing is they give you bread and then you scarf down all the bread and then like by the time the food goes, yeah, you're like, I'm not fucking hungry anymore.
My biggest Cheesecake Factory memory I'll always have was hanging out with the dumbass brigade back in the day. We had gone to Cheesecake Factory for like a trip. It was like in the middle of the fucking winter, like at night. We drove like fucking like across the state to the closest cheese. It was dumb. I don't understand this. We go there. Everybody orders so much fucking food. I ordered a cheeseburger because I was like, you ain't gonna finish that. They all legit like couldn't finish their food. And I'm just like, what were you guys thinking? Like,
and they didn't get cheesecake, or did they?
No, they spent all their money on the food.
So I remember my weirdest cheesecake memory is one time. I think it was college, and me and a friend went there. I don't remember who the friend was, if it was a friend from college or it was a friend from high school that I met up with, and we went to Cheesecake Factory.
Was this the time you threw up in the bathroom the whole time?
Yes.
I think that was the friend you went to prom.
Yeah. I remember we went to Cheesecake Factory. I ate my food, and then suddenly in the middle of it, I was like, I'll be right back. My stomach hurts. And I went to the bathroom. And I just threw it all up. I don't know what happened. I was fine after. Like, I don't know what happened. I just, like, my stomach just said, nope. And I just, I ran to the bathroom and just power puffed. And then I came back. My friend's like, you were gone for a while. Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I just threw up. She's like, what? And I'm like, I'm fine now. I don't know why. Like, my stomach just, like, it just turned. And then, like, in true, like, gross person fashion, I ate more of my food.
Well, you have to pay. You're gonna have to pay for it regardless. So at least you might as well enjoy it.
I threw it up, so I might as well eat the rest. And then I got cheesecake after.
At least you had some left.
I don't know what happened. Like, it wasn't the food. Something just in my stomach just had to leave. And I ate the rest, and it was fine. So I always remember that. Oh, that was a good. I hope she's doing well. She was really sweet.
Cheesecake Factory brings out the worst in us. I swear.
It's. I feel like after COVID, it became a very stressful experience because
See,
every time Mom and I went after, it's always been very chaotic, and
see,
I can't enjoy it.
whenever I think of Cheesecake Factory, I just think of that fucking clip from the fucking Cringe Gauntlet.
Oh, I'm so cheesecake.
Ugh, so
You're
bad. It's the worst.
Oh,
This is
that's
why
funny.
the foods always takes forever because that's what they're doing back there. I swear to
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, so we'll go to the Cheesecake Factory after we're at. It's in the mall, so we can go. If the convention sucks, we can walk around the mall. No, just kidding. But actually, not really. No, it'll be fun. I am super excited about this cosplay though. Like, it's gonna be sick, and I am hyped. I had to buy. So I originally got a tutu, but I think I'm actually gonna get a petticoat to put underneath it because they make those. I didn't know they made them. So I'm gonna make it so the skirt fluffs out and all the feathers show nicely. I got sparkles. I bedazzled the Black Clover logo on the cape, and I'm gonna add some more. And I had to jankily. I didn't feel like sewing, so I just cut it and I just glued everything back together so that I could take it off without putting it over my head. I'm excited. This is gonna be good. But I ain't entering no contest because I don't like to interact with people.
Yeah. I don't want to interact with the people.
I like the cosplay for myself. I think it's fun. I like putting them together. But I don't have any interest in competing or anything. That's a little it's a little overwhelming. And I don't put as much effort in as like all those people who like do compete. Like they deserve it. They deserve the whoa.
You good?
I just like looked at my ankle. Oh, this is gonna be kind of gross. I don't know if I can show it on the camera. If I can get it. I just like looked down at my ankle. And like, do you see that? Do you see that skin hanging off?
Ew. Why is this the gross episode?
I'm so sorry. It's like no, it doesn't hurt. I think I like had like a blister. I'm like, this is the aftermath. Oh, here's the skin.
Oh.
This I like how like I like you're the brother and the ew, brothers are supposed to be gross, but then here I am with my skin flap.
Alex, I've had to clean when I was in JROTC. I've cleaned the women's bathroom before, and I can tell you, both genders are equally disgusting. That is all I will say.
Everyone's gross. Oh my god! So I just like I don't know what it was. Like I just went down. I lifted my leg up to put, and then I touched my heel. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And it was skin flap. Anyways, at least no one's gonna see that. Just you. Just you had to be blessed with that image. Are you happy? Is this why you do this podcast? Have you been playing any games?
I've been playing the Fairly Odd Parents games because we did that episode. I got like halfway through breaking the rules and then I started falling asleep because it was like fucking 11 at night.
Yeah.
And I'm old.
No. Yeah, well, yeah. We both are. Watching anything? Or keep going.
We just reached that point in life where like you're just tired by like 8 o'clock, and it's really sad.
I mean, but you also wake up early, so it's not like you're like going like waking up at noon and going to bed at 8. Like you're waking up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, right?
Usually, yes. 4:30s. I'm usually up.
Yeah, so like you got reasonable understanding for being tired.
I've been so tired this week though. Like this week's been rough. And it's not even because work's been bad. It's just been physically a rough week.
Pollen with all the rain and stuff, the pollen has been very, very bad. No, I feel that.
Watching stuff though, not really. I watched the Earnhardt documentary. That was very fun.
Was really good. I'm adding that to my list of things to watch.
That was really fun. Really sad at times too. I watched The Stand. There might be a Geek Addicts episode out probably before this comes out, so that was a watch. Other than that, not really much. I've been reading again. I just got
Manga?
a few more volumes into Kaiju number 8. So that's been a fun
Nice.
read so far. I'm like 2 volumes away from being caught up with the physical releases, so that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm on the one where who's your favorite character again?
You don't know?
Hoshina, right? Hoshina.
Thank you, Bill.
There's Ashiro, Hoshina, and Shinomiya, and I just mix them up all the time, which is which. So Hoshina,
Get
though,
out.
I'm at the one where I'm in my own house, ma'am. I'm at the point where he gets his armor suit and he has a tail.
Yes, and it's like armor suit that like sassily talks back to him, and it's like kill him, and he's like no.
Yeah, I'm there right now. So also, Kikaru beat up her clone. That was interesting.
Yes, clone. Well, it was like a team. Well, because like
because it was spawned from Kaiju number 9.
Kaiju number 9 set up each of the ones that they're fighting to be their biggest enemy.
Yeah, and Kafka just walks right through it. Everything.
Yeah. Well, but first Kafka had to face his inner demons, though.
Yes.
Because he was still kind of struggling with the fact, like, that he, like, almost killed Kikaru's dad. So, like, that was a big thing. Oh, spoilers, sorry. Well, no, that was in the show. That was in the show, and
it's not even that big of a massive spoiler.
No, yeah. There's more. I could have said something. True. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad I got. I remember you reluctantly took that first volume.
I didn't want to start another series, and then look what happened. Now I've started like 3 more.
It. Bill, give up. Oh, I might be buying another shelf, and I might request your help to make it because it matches my shelves in my room.
Okay, just remind me when.
Yeah, once it still has to get here. I haven't bought it yet. I'm waiting for my credit card to like swish so I don't. So it all evens out.
Aren't you gonna ask me?
Oh, they're great. Aren't you gonna ask me what I'm watching, Bill?
Well, I know what you're watching, but I'll ask for the audience. What are you watching?
Well, I finished Welcome to Demon School of Ruma. Rewatching that, it's great. I can't wait for season 4. It's a crime that season 4 has not come out yet, and the season 2 intro is still my favorite song in the world. Then I finally finished ReZero, which I was chatting with my friend about when we were biking, and he agreed with me. Like, had the same thoughts of like there are such good highs in it, but sometimes it can just feel so boring. Or it's just like it's slow. But like the moments where it's like good are so good. So I'd say it's worth watching, but like just be prepared. There's some stuff you might like skip or like multitask through. But I finally started watching Daima.
So you're getting the much better experience than I did because I watched that weekly and holy fuck, the first like 6 episodes go fucking nowhere in that show, I swear.
Well, I'm at episode 10 and I thought it's been moving pretty.
Because you've been watching it in back to back. When you watch it week to week and you watch each episode individually, like the first 3 episodes, literally nothing happens. And when you watch that week to week, so fun fact, actually, at the time of this recording, I'm currently working on a supercut of all of me and Matt's Daima reviews that we did over the last like 7 episodes, like 20 episodes of Geek Addicts. So I'm currently editing that together now, and it's really funny reliving it because I'm pretty sure in the first 3 segments of that we did, my exact response was, "This is fun and all, but nothing fucking happened yet." It picks up so much by the end, though, of the series. Like the last I think like 5 episodes are so fucking good. Like you haven't even got to the really good stuff yet.
Well, I've been really enjoying it, and I will say, you know, as much as I did not enjoy my Dragon Ball Z experience, I do appreciate it going into this because it is, I guess it's helpful. Will I watch Dragon Ball Z again? No. Will I most likely watch Daima again? Probably. And I'm glad I have the background knowledge, but I ain't ever watching Z again.
No, if you watch Z, you'll watch Kai.
Or the abridged.
Or the abridged. Oh, that's actually
honestly,
good too.
at that point, I'll watch the abridged before I watch Kai.
Keep in mind that the abridged only goes up to Cell because they stopped doing it after Cell.
That's fine. We don't need roads where we're going. But it has been really good. I've been really enjoying Daima. I love the intro song and like the
intro
fact
song
that
is
Zed,
really good.
It's just funny though, because like I feel like if you listen to Zed before, which you don't really, you've never really listened to him before, right?
Probably not.
Like he's like a DJ, but like one thing I realized is like a lot of his songs have that same vibe. So sometimes I'll be like, oh, is it this song? I'll be like, nope, this is the Dragon Ball theme, but it kind of feels like all his other songs. But it's good. I really like it.
Do you love the new explanation we have for everything in Dragon Ball that doesn't make sense?
Yes.
Well, because before I used to always joke saying Toriyama forgot, which was a running gag for a while. The new excuse now for anything in Dragon Ball that doesn't make sense is you can just say Demon World.
Yeah.
That's all you need to say.
How, like, because it's interesting seeing how like the Kai originate from the Demon World, I guess, like, which is a weird. It's an interesting plot point. But I'm really enjoying it. It's fun seeing baby Goku and baby Vegeta, mostly because he's so angry.
They brought back Kid Goku's original VA too, Stephanie Nadalny.
It has been very fun. I have been really enjoying it. I think the groups are. I made it to episode 10, so I don't believe the groups have like reconvened yet, or they just did. But I've been enjoying the new characters.
I won't spoil anything, but it gets very entertaining. So you've seen like Glorio and Pansy at this point, right?
Glorio and Pansy, yes, have been there for quite a bit.
Did you notice Glorio's voice actor right away?
Yeah, who is it? It's very familiar.
It's Aaron Discommute. It's Mayuki from Kaguya-sama.
I thought so.
And a lot of other things. He's in a lot of stuff, but I love the fact that Goku can never get his name right.
But he gets Pansy right, and Glorio keeps giving him like the stink eye.
Yeah, there's a great line later in the series where Pansy's like, "How are you married?" And Goku's like, "Oh, Chi-Chi did everything." Basically,
wait,
it's like,
what happened?
Oh, you got to that line?
No, but it was like, "How did you raise kids?" And he's like,
"Yeah,"
and he's like, "I didn't really raise them."
Yeah, he's like, Chi-Chi did everything.
And that's why he's on the #1 deadbeat father list.
Yeah, it's really bad when Vegeta's a better dad.
He is. That's why Gohan is such a better dad too, because he's like, wow, well, my green father is my true father.
What's weird though is like Goku's a great grandfather.
Yeah.
Like that's so fucking weird.
He's just like, fuck you, my own kids. I like my grandkids better. Who cares? Well, whatever. It's Goku. He just wants to fight.
He just likes to punch things.
Yes.
But yeah,
Bill.
Daima's been fun.
Yes, it has. But Bill, you know what's more fun?
What?
What are you drinking, Bill?
I'm drinking the same thing I've been drinking for the last few weeks. It's that Franny's cream soda thing. Yeah.
Give us a fact. Give us like the sodium.
It's made with sparkling love. That's my fact.
Hey Bill, guess what I'm drinking?
What?
The same exact thing in a sippy cup.
Good.
But don't worry, everyone. I brought something along. Because I didn't have time to pull up the facts. I read the facts off my glue. But don't worry, I brought something new today. This is my nasal spray. I have allergies, so I use it. It's called Afrin. It's for severe congestion.
Because
I'm severely congested. All right. Let me look up the facts. Okay.
You get one.
Active ingredients: oxymetazoline, hydrochloride,
That was your fact.
0.5%.
That was
C
your
carton.
fact.
Warning, ask a doctor if you have a heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, thyroid disease, trouble urinating, failed to due to enlarged using the product. Do not use more than dry. Oh, so it tells you only to do it once in the morning or like once a day. But I usually use it like 4 times a day.
Great.
So I don't listen to the directions.
Also,
but
I changed it to the clown music like halfway through that, so you're welcome.
I know, I just didn't care. But I thought like, it would be fun since like especially because we keep drinking the same things because we have a problem. Which when I went to the grocery store, it was all sold out. The only one left was the lemon. So more people are catching on to how good the shit is. But so in order to compensate, I'm just gonna read random facts on other things I can find. So today you got my nasal spray. Were you expecting me to pull out nasal spray?
And anything surprises me. At some point, you're gonna just pull out cat litter or something. I don't know.
Ooh, that gives me ideas. Ooh, minty.
Anyways,
I just use my nasal spray. If you were wondering why I went minty, this episode is so unhinged. Like from like my ankle to not Olive Garden to the Cheesecake Factory story. I'm a weird human being.
we all are.
I feel like I'm much more weird.
Anyways, moving on now. We have
guys. Thanks so much for watching the Gaming and Collect.
No. No one buys your fake crying.
Wait, you can hear me? Oh, you unmuted me.
Yeah.
Yay!
Exactly how fake that was. Anyways, so moving on to our topic for this episode, we are going to be talking. So, in the previous episodes, we've been talking about the Bratz movies, which is one childhood garbage we watched as children.
That's not garbage. That's state of the art beauty.
Alex, halfway through, you were like, "This is a mistake. I will regret doing this." That was your choice.
No, I don't regret it. It just kind of gave me a migraine after watching all those movies.
We haven't even watched.
I'm excited for the live action. We just gotta figure out how to watch it.
We'll figure that out. That being said, though, we're watching another childhood favorite. This was one that I owned, and this one was slightly better. At least it has a story. We're going to be talking about the.
They had stories, just not good ones.
Sure they did. Alex, explain the plot of the trucker one.
All right, the Bratz are on a reality TV show.
Never mind.
Where what?
I don't care that much.
See, I knew the plot, Bill.
Rehearse the songs from Girls Really Rock.
I thought I was gonna burp, but then it ran away.
Well, it's gonna show up now when you least expect it.
No.
But yeah, so this episode we're talking about the trilogy of Bionicle films.
Wait, not Bratz?
No, we're done with the Bratz CGI films. Thank God.
What? We gotta watch Bratz Babies.
No, we don't. We saw enough of that in that last one that we know we never need to see that in our lifetime.
Yeah, you're right. But anyways.
Yeah, we're talking about
Bionicle!
Bionicle is one of the most interesting things Lego ever did because it kind of saved the company from bankruptcy in a way. It probably wasn't the sole reason, but it was one of the major.
It helped a lot.
Well, because in the late 90s, the Lego was kind of a fad that was dying. Because I always forget that Lego is fucking old as shit. Like, it is from the fucking 40s, I think.
Well, just like Barbie, which we're going to talk about, that's also old as.
Did you know Lego's from Denmark?
Hmm?
Did you know Legos come from Denmark?
No, I didn't know that.
That's where Lego comes from. I believe the Lego actually stands for. What is the phrase? Lego is from Denmark, and it translates from the Danish phrase "legut," which means play well. But yeah, Legos come from Denmark, and they debuted in 1949. That is insane. These things, the thing that you step on in the morning and are in internal pain for, has been around since the 40s. Keep that in mind. But yeah, the Bionicle series was kind of like a spin-off of their like Technic brand in a sense that kind of became its own like massive thing. They were like these little like robot figures that came in these tubes that you'd build. They were like you could like pose them and stuff, and you could mix and match parts if you really wanted to.
Did Bionicle have any like competition?
No, not really. I mean, I don't think Mega Bloks was doing anything. Which, fun fact, I found Mega Bloks. Lego has tried to sue them like 14 times, and they've lost every lawsuit.
I love it
because apparently it's not a trademark thing. Because Mega Bloks is not a trademark infringement of Lego. It is technically a patent issue, and Lego's patent expired so long ago that like they can't do shit. Like Mega Bloks they just can't call them Lego. But yeah, I just read that. I thought it was funny. Like I tried to sue them 14 times and lost every one of them.
That's so silly. I guess the only thing would be like action figures. I guess would be kind of the market they were going into, but with Bionicle. But really, there wasn't any.
Lego tried action figures.
Yeah.
Do you? No. They tried actual action figures later.
What?
Do you remember Galador?
What the fuck is Galador?
Galador was fun fact. Galador was a fucking Fox Kids cartoon, like animated CGI show back in like the early 2000s when Fox near the end of Fox Kids. I didn't realize it was a fucking Lego like tie-in. Like they were like these Lego action figures. Things.
Ew.
Oh yeah, they're horrible. Like
it bombed. My God.
They bombed horribly. Like it was,
yeah, no wonder because they're fucking hit. Ew. What the? Who the fuck made this?
Oh, you found the crab walker thingy, yeah. Look up Galador if anyone wants to see some truly unhinged shit. I watched a whole video about the failure of Galador, and there was an entire.
The dog is like a chicken.
Yeah, there was an entire segment of the video that showed some of the fucking abominations that people created with it. And I'm just like, this is amazing. But yeah, that was Lego tried action figures. That was after they saved themselves with Bionicle, and then they almost killed themselves again. I believe like it's like one of Lego's old shames where they don't want to bring it up, and they consider it a learning experience.
Yeah, a mistake. I mean, we all learn from our mistakes, and my God, that was a mistake.
I had because there was McDonald's toys that came of that. I had a few of them because I remember the cartoon. I remember the cartoon.
Does McDonald's even do toys anymore?
I think they do, but I think they're stupid. Like they're really lame.
Like I feel like we grew up in the best generation for the McDonald's Happy Meals toys because like you had the mini Bionicles that were one. We got the Neopets. People lost their shit for those Neopets from McDonald's.
I remember all the NASCAR tie-ins, and we got fucking die-casts. Fucking the shit.
Yeah, they used to like do like crazy awesome toys, and like now it's probably but I remember.
Alex, you know what I found looking through like the storage in my attic recently? This is completely off topic, but I found one of those Burger King Pokemon toys, the ones that were recalled because they were killing children. I found one up in the attic, and I went, "Oh no!" Die. I was like, "Wow, this could have killed me."
Were they choking hazards?
They would. Wavy Web Search did a video on it. I've seen a whole bunch of videos about them. Basically, the way that they were designed on very small children, they would perfectly suction over their nose and mouth, and it would just suffocate them. It was like a recall thing. Like, it was really bad, but like,
oh my God.
I was looking through the boxes and I found one. I was like, oh man, like this is.
Did you try it?
No, I put it back in the box and forgot about it.
You're like, well, clearly you didn't because you brought it up.
Well, I was thinking about it now, just with like we were talking about toys and everything. But yeah, Burger King that was a bad time for Burger King and Pokemon. That was during Pokemania too, and like Satanic Panic and all the fucking like insane Pokemon shit back in the day.
Yep.
But yeah, back to Bionicle.
Back to the topic of this pod.
Bionicles were addicting. They were just super fun to build.
How many Bionicles did you have?
I was big into Bionicle from like they debuted in like 2001. I want to say from like 2001 to probably like 2004. I had pretty much all the Gen 1 figures. I had a couple of their later redesigns, a few of the Bull Rocks, like a whole bunch of them. And then eventually, after I think it was like right after Mask of Light, the first movie, I stopped collecting them because
because they were
cost
available from 2001 to 2010, and then they had a comeback in 2015 to 2016, and then another one in 2023 apparently.
Yeah, they were short-lived comebacks, but I collected them basically up until around the first movie, and then I kind of fell out of it because they were expensive, and I'd rather have video games.
Yeah.
Fun stuff like that. But I did have a pretty sizable collection. I actually still have the parts. they're not assembled anymore, but I do still have a lot of
bits and pieces. You have soul.
I have portions of Bionicles. They're really expensive to collect nowadays. I would love to collect some of the original tubes and like sets, but I cannot justify that price because they are expensive. But yeah, Bionicle was super fun, and what made Bionicle super crazy in comparison to say like in comparison to a lot of like Lego media at the time was the lore. Bionicle had some really fucking deep, intense lore. Like not like with the games, like just with like the stories like that were written to go along with the toys. It was insane.
Yeah.
Which is one of the main reasons that led to a film trilogy of made for TV, well not made DVD, straight to DVD releases, CGI films based off of the series, the toy line and
did
lore.
any of them have a theatrical release like in other places?
I don't think so. I know the first one aired at Legoland.
Well, because like the second I'm looking at the Wikipedia article and it says on the second one it was originally intended for a theatrical release. Yeah, and then it said the third one as well was originally intended. So was the first one a theatrical release?
No, it was straight to DVD. But it did premiere at Legoland in California. So it did get a release at a theme park. My assumption is like these movies, there's not as much as I enjoy these nostalgically, there's not enough here for a theatrical release. Like these would have bombed super hard if they came out in theaters.
Yeah. Well, they were meant for like the people who liked Bionicle.
Yeah. And they did fairly well. I mean, sales wise, they made 4 films. We're not talking about the 4th one because it's unrelated. Yeah. They did enough to get 4 films, so they definitely sold decently enough. And I know people fondly remember these films. Fun fact too that I learned: Bionicle Mask of Light, the first film, is actually the first Lego film like made.
Oh, really?
Which is kind of crazy considering how many Lego films there are now. Like there's the Lego movie and actual theatrical release these days. But yeah, Bionicle Mask of Light was technically the first Lego film.
Huh. So, interesting. It's funny to think that maybe like they wouldn't even have that really successful Lego movie without this one if they didn't dip their toes in with this one.
Well, also you got to think too, like Lego probably wouldn't be where it is without Bionicle in general. Yeah. So we watched these in a very interesting way. We when we did our watch of these movies, we actually used a YouTube. So these films are on YouTube because of course they are. Yeah. But we found a very interesting cut where the person who had put out the video actually edited them together chronologically rather than by release,
Mhm.
because these films, the first film came out, and then the second and third are actually prequels to the first film.
Yes.
Um, the technical order for these films goes: the second film, Legends of Metro Nui.
Yep.
The third film, Web of Shadows, takes place in the middle of the second film, towards the end. Like there's a brief cut.
Mm.
Then the end of Metro Nui. Then the Mask of Light is the final film.
Mm.
And there's a brief like post-credit scene at the end of Web of Shadows that takes place after Mask of Light. It's kind of a mess, and we watched it in this
the
fun,
actual chronological order.
and they cut it properly too, so it actually plays like the scenes where they should be. So like
Which
the
I
ending
feel like also shows how much people care about this franchise, like about Bionicle. If someone took the time to splice this together and piece it so that the story flowed, it just shows how much people cared about Bionicle.
Yeah. What's really funny though is the way it's spliced. It goes from second film to third film to first film, and like you can see the quality of CGI is so all over the place.
Yeah.
Just because these films actually came out in a span of a couple years, like they were once a year.
Yeah.
The
Well, you can
first
see,
one,
like, from what they've learned in the first one, got better in the second, and so on and so on.
yeah, the first
Story,
one was,
though, got worse. No.
yeah, well,
The third movie. The third movie is not.
it was kind of like this.
Yeah. Well, it was more of like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the first film came out in 2003, and then the third film was 2005. And then they took like a couple year break and released the last one in 2009, right around the time where right when the Lego was about to die for the first time.
Yep.
But this trilogy went from 2003 to 5.
Yep.
The films are obviously Bionicle Mask of Light, Bionicle 2 Legends of Metro Nui, and Bionicle 3 Web of Shadow. And each one was basically a tie-in to a toy line at the time.
Yes.
If
you didn't know, like the Bratz movies, this were made to sell more toys.
Yes, but I will say,
and like the Barbie movies we'll talk about later.
I will say though, one thing that these movies have over those is they actually got the original creators.
Oh, really?
Yes, the original creators, two of the original creators of Bionicle, Bob Thompson and Alistair Swinnerton.
Yep.
Were involved with the writing of the first, third, and fourth films. One of them was involved with at least one film each. The first film even got like Henry Gilroy and Greg Wiseman, two well-known Hollywood writers, involved. So there was some actual talent behind these movies.
Yeah.
And as me and Alex noticed while watching these, the soundtracks were all done by Nathan First, who he's done a ton of TV and movies. These soundtracks go unnecessarily hard.
They're really good. Like they put so much effort into it, and it's just like, why? This is a Bionicle movie. It makes it so intense, and then you're just like, why?
To the point where Nathan First actually considers them his finest work, which what a resume thing to point out.
Bionicle. Just watch it. Just me.
So what's interesting is like the lore had been going on for a while before Mask of Light. Like there's an entire like a whole bunch of like lore, like because apparently there was a movie planned all the way back in 2001 that was going to be about like the Gen 1 stuff, but they had kind of canceled and shelved it for a bit until later when CGI was better. Yeah, I remember because like the toys that came out right before the movie, like I remember they were like super intense, and then we saw the movie and we were like, oh man, like this is gonna be kind of cool. The CG, it's not the worst. It definitely is aged though.
No, I honestly feel, and this might be weird, but I actually thought the CG looked way better than the CG of the Bratz movies.
Well,
and some of those came out later than this. Like,
oh yeah,
they just put a lot more effort into it. So, and the effort shows, and that's why it looks pretty good. Like they worked hard to make it look good.
Yeah, I will say though, rewatching these movies, especially like in the trilogy format we did, there is a lot of dead air in these movies.
Oh yeah.
Like Mask of Light.
I mean, there's only so much you can do about like a fake toy, like a toy franchise. I feel like there's only so much you can do. So like it's expected that there's gonna be dead air. But hey, at least it wasn't them like just randomly posing for like 50 minutes.
Yeah. Because I know with like
Mask
of Light really wanted to like Mask of Light has probably the most like straightforward story because it's literally these two Matorans, which are like the general like population of
you
the
should
Bionicle.
probably explain the Bionicle population first. Like who
Bionicles are a race of sentient robots.
Yes.
It's an entire world of sentient robots. It's actually really interesting. To the point where they live on an island that has another identical island below it.
Yep.
It's insane.
Don't question it.
One's called Metro Nui, and then one's called Meta Nui.
Yep.
But yeah, there's like the god of Bionicles is called Meta Nui, and like they named their island after their god, and their god's been asleep because it was put to sleep by this evil, like basically the devil of this universe.
Yeah, the red guy.
Yeah, Makuta, or at least the race that he is known as the Makuta. It makes sense when you watch it.
Don't question it. Just don't question it. Just accept it.
But yeah, the Bionicle race is mostly composed of these beings known as Matoran, which are like these little guys. They basically run. They're not children, even though they look like kids, but they're basically the majority of the population is just the little ones. Then there's the Toa, which are the ones that everyone knows, like the iconic, like
these
the main,
are the action figures.
Yeah, the ones that you buy.
These are the ones that you buy.
The Toa are essentially the guardians of the Matoran, where there's 6 of them at all times, one from each of the different regions.
Except the Bionicle Mask of Light.
Well, Mask of Light, the whole thing is that there's a secret 7th one.
Yes.
It's like Power Rangers essentially. But and then once 8,
I wonder where they got that idea from. No.
It's got a lot of Sentai inspiration,
it does.
I will say. And then the Toa, once they eventually give up their power and transfer to a Matoran, they become a Turaga, which is like
because no one is born a Toa.
No, they become
Toa by giving the power. Gets passed down from other Toas, who then become what you were just saying.
But Toa can also be corrupted because there is a villain in the second film who was a former Toa that was corrupted. And it's a whole like lineage thing where like the masks are also a big part of them because they need their masks to live, and the masks to be passed down because there's like one of the main like elder characters in the second film later dies and passes the mask on to a Matoran who becomes a main character in the first film. The lore crafting is very deep. And you have to kind of pay attention to get it.
Yes.
But yeah, like the first film is mostly just this story of these two Matoran going on a journey to find the 7th Toa, Mask of Light, because they find the Mask of Light, and it's like a whole big thing, and it's supposed to be the mask that'll reawaken Meta Nui and bring them back to their original home of Metro Nui. And the whole plot is essentially, it's like the whole like coming of age, finding yourself story where like they go on this big journey across the island and meet all these people just to discover that the person who they were looking for was there
all along.
It was literally the guy who found the mask originally, who becomes the 7th Toa, the Toa of Light, and then and the movie ends where it's like they're gonna awaken Meta Nui and go back to Metro Nui, and then it's like, I can't wait to see the next film where we get to see all that. It's like, nope, prequel. Now you have to learn how that we got here. And what's fun is there's a narrator for this entire series, and it's actually the old Turaga Vakama, who's like the main kind of like centerpiece, like narrator expositionist guy. And you start the second movie, and we're all of a sudden we're learning about him as a Matoran, and we're getting his backstory, and it's like how they became the leaders that saved the Matoran and then brought them to Meta Nui.
Yeah.
And then
I actually really liked their story in the second one.
The second movie by far is the best film because it's the most straightforward. There's not a lot, because the problem with the first movie is there is a ton of just like get on with it moments where you're like, come on.
Well, and then the ending is almost kind of like unfulfilled because it's like, oh, yay! Like it's exactly what you said. You're like, all right, let's see what's gonna happen. Let's go back to Metro New, and then it's like, nope, you don't get that.
The thing I liked though was at the end of the third movie, we cut back to that scene of Vakama telling Takanuva, Joller, and Holly the story. And it's kind of implied that at the end of Mask of Light, he basically tells his backstory and like gives them the whole explanation before they go.
Yes.
Because fun fact, the lore actually does go into after Mask of Light because the story continued. Because there was, I think, comics.
Is it
and
books?
I think there's novels and comics as well, like that explain all this. But yeah, the second film, Legends of Metru Nui, basically tells the story of Vakama and all the Turaga of Meta Nui. That's a fun story of like it's like a story of like self-discovery where like Vakama has to learn to be the hero that he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And all the other Toas also have to learn their place, and we get a lot of comic relief. A lot of comic relief.
Well, I feel like in this one too, you really got to know Toas too a little bit. Like maybe you didn't know them in full depth, but each of them did get at least at some point where they were highlighted. Where in Mask of Light, it was really just centered around the two little dingbats, who then one of them becomes the
Matoran, yeah. Well, yeah, because the whole plot in Mask of Light is basically like they go on their journey and then they run into the Toa occasionally throughout the plot.
Well, they play some games and then they run into those weird lizard thingies.
Oh, the freaking Rakshi. Yeah, those things.
Yeah. It kind of just repeated a couple times, and then it's like, boom. Oh, he's the guy. What?
Yeah.
And watching it as a kid, it's predictable, but watching it as an adult, like you're kind of we already kind of knew, but it wasn't that obvious to tell who it was gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah, and the second movie has some really good action scenes too. Like the final fight at the end is really fun. It might have a bit of a tearjerker in it.
Not really, and I like the ending too, like where you talked about where they use the elder who died's mask to give it to someone else. But then it also like gets to the point where they all kind of selfishly have to save all the Matoran,
yes.
Yeah, all the Matoran, and basically, even though they all basically just got these abilities, they have to sacrifice them in order to save all of the Matoran. Because really, what's the use of all these powers if you have no one to actually protect?
Yeah.
So I like the ending of it. And honestly, the third movie, you can just pretend didn't happen.
Yeah, the third movie is...
You can write it off as... You don't have to watch it. You could watch the first two and probably be okay.
The thing with the third movie is the cast of the second movie was very popular.
Yes.
So they wanted to do another movie with that cast. The problem was the way that the second movie ended, they couldn't really use them again. So they made the third movie
put a filler movie.
The third movie is essentially an interquel that takes place near the end of the second film, but before the ending scene where they pass the torch, essentially.
Yep.
And it's essentially it's basically explaining, oh yeah, they had to go rescue the Matoran.
Yeah.
From the island, and of course, in that short 5 minutes that he was fighting Makuta, the entire island goes to shit, like really fast. This like race of like weird spider creatures like takes over like really fast, and they all get poisoned and become these like weird beast abomination things.
Yeah, they all get put, like, one thing they really like to do in this movie was put them into like little egg sack cocoons, and I hated every second of it. Yeah, I hated the third movie. The third movie sucked, and it shouldn't exist.
The third movie was just weird because like all the characters kind of like lost their character. Like Vakama becomes a villain for a while.
Yeah,
which is bizarre.
Well, they kind of forgot that he went through like this whole arc of him like becoming a hero and accepting that like he is strong enough, and then like they just go, all right, now he's bad guy.
Yeah, and I hate. I was not I was not a fan of the Toa Hortica um, toy line to begin with. That's the beastly forms they take in this
Mm.
movie.
Yeah, which are just a weird beast thing with a gangly arm.
Yeah, one of the arms. So for the toy line, that all of them had like this arm that could like swing and extend properly. But like when they transferred it to CGI, it looks like this weird gangle arm that like it just looks weird. But they also have these weird back shooter things all of a sudden now.
Yes.
It's a weird film. It does have the nice little message at the end where it's like this guy who's gonna save them, Tatongu, I think his name was.
Tonka.
Yeah. He makes the whole like point of like, you actually have the power. This new power might actually be superior to your old power, and they basically make it's the whole thing.
They're basically like, no, we're ugly. Let's leave.
There's that, but the whole message is supposed to be, it's like, this might be better power, but we have a mission to do, and we have to do it the way we started, kind of thing. Like we don't need the power to
and
be
we
who
were
we are.
also ugly.
Yeah.
And we want to be hot. Oh my god, he's hot.
Yeah. The third movie is just kind of weird. I like the way it ends, where it ties off really nicely.
It is nice that it tied back to the first movie, which comes after that. But was it necessary? No.
No,
We didn't need the third movie.
It was unfortunately a case of like they kind of had to tie up a loose end, and they just kind of did it in a really weird way, especially trying to sell. They also wanted to sell a new toy line, and I didn't think that new toy line was particularly cool.
Yeah, well, to me it seems uninspired. Like they were just like, okay, these ones sold really well, so let's just make them a little different and try and sell them. And then they like couldn't think of anything good, and they're just like, well, let's give them a gangle arm and hope for the best.
Well, they complicated the designs with these weird like special like plastic molds and stuff, and because if you look at the toys, they were kind of cool, like from like the building aspect. But
Did you have one, Bill?
I had one, and I didn't really like it. So
exactly.
It was fun to build.
That fun.
No, it was fun to build, but once I built it, I was like, it's kind of
fun to build and fun to eat. Nom nom. Yummy Legos. What the fuck am I stepping on?
A Lego.
No, what is that? I'm always paranoid. It's like cat barf or something. What is that? Oh, it's like Velcro. Okay, I figured it out. I'm like all fucking over the place today. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
And it's Bionicle.
Yeah.
You think we're gonna see Bionicles again?
No, they've already tried it twice. I think it's
4 times apparently.
I think it had its time, but I think it should stay in the past as something nostalgic that we look back on and go, that was nice. Not this thing that they keep trying to bring back, because they later did like the Bionicle Heroes thing, which was like a similar line of toys, but like different lore and stuff.
Oh, okay.
They also did like those weird Crusade Guardian things.
They had a Netflix series?
Yeah, there's like a 4-episode thing. It's really short.
Bionicle: The Journey to One.
Never seen it. I don't know.
They kind of look like Metroid characters.
That was kind of the problem with the later ones. They just like didn't look the same, and they didn't have the same feel.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at these like designs, like the Bionicle, it feels very much the 2000s. Like it's just the look of them. Like this toy just screams 2000s.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing about like the original designs. They all looked unique and cool. Like it was just a fun era. And like I remember I had the Game Boy games, and they were okay.
There was Game Boy games?
Yeah, there's 2 Game Boy Advance games, and there's 1 PlayStation game, and they're not great, but they are kind of nostalgic in a way.
Someone made a GIF of the guy clapping.
Nice.
Honestly, that CG does not look bad. No, I think a lot of it though has to do with the fact of like how the characters looked though as well. Like where it wasn't necessarily a person. Honestly, I still think these look great for
the character models and rigging was pretty good. It's more the environments are a little rough, like especially in the first movie.
What was the budget for these?
It's a good question. I don't know if we actually have that. So the budget for the Mask of Light was 3.5 million to 5 million. It doesn't say how much it made back, but I believe they did well enough to get a sequel, which.
Well, and I'm sure some of it too is the fact that it's not necessarily taking into the movie sales. It's probably looking more into account of like, okay, how many toys did we sell after this?
Yeah, and
It's
I know
probably more.
they definitely sold for the first two movies.
Well, because it's interesting too, because you don't see stuff like this anymore because of like how advertising and stuff works nowadays. Like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games, almost. Like, there's just so many other ways to advertise now that,
Well, the
like,
thing is, we
it's almost
live in
you'll never see stuff like this again.
No, we also live in such an anti-ad world now, where like people just hate advertisements.
Yeah,
Which fair.
Truthfully, these movies are just walking advertisements. Like, we just watched an hour ad. Like, we watched 3 hours of Bionicle ads. Well,
which,
yeah.
To be fair, though, at least they were high quality ads.
No, yeah, exactly. Like, it's much better than the stuff we get now. But it really is interesting looking back, because even like,
we mentioned Sentai and Power Rangers. Power Rangers is literally just like a TV show that's basically just a giant advertisement to sell toys.
Yeah.
Like, anytime they get new motorcycles, it's like, oh, new motorcycles. I wonder what that's about.
New toy. Yeah.
You know what's also really tragic about Power Rangers toys?
What?
The pink and yellow Rangers never sold.
I mean, is it that much of a surprise?
No, but it's a funny thing where you look at photos of like store shelves back in the day, and there'd be tons of the pink and yellow Rangers.
Well, because girls weren't buying them; they were buying.
No, they weren't.
Rats.
And boys didn't want the girl Rangers.
No.
That's just such a
the girl Barbie. Yeah.
I mean, you should see.
Did you hear that?
You should see some of the Power Rangers toys, Alex. Ooh.
Ooh.
The ones from In Space in particular, like, you look at those and go, yep, that's how the body works.
Those ones sold great. Yeah.
Well, no, because when In Space was like 98, I don't think I hadn't had the awakening yet, Alex. So I didn't notice. But yeah, that's Bionicle. I enjoyed this rewatch. I will say, though, these films don't hit the same way they did back in the day.
Well, but I will say it was way better than the fucking Bratz movies.
No, we got through these in a sitting.
I didn't have a headache. Well, I was okay. So when we were watching this, I feel like I was a little too hard on them at the time. But I had gone on a bike ride.
Yeah, you were exhausted and tired.
I did 34 miles that day, and like my back was also. I had done a bunch of crafting on my cosplay the day before, and I'd hunched over a table to do it, so my back was killing me. So I was in so much pain. I took maybe a few more painkillers than I should have, and we ate Popeyes, and I was really tired, and I was falling asleep. But I don't really think it was the movie. It was more of the fact that I was just really tired and exhausted.
Yeah. Which is fair. But
I would be a lot more fair now in saying like these were genuinely good movies, like for kids. Like, obviously
the first two anyways.
Yeah, the first two. The third one, but like they were fun and they're way better than the Bratz movies. But Barbie, my bitch Barbie's gonna be better, so just wait.
We'll see, because we don't know. You haven't watched most of these in a long time, Alex, so we will see.
Do not kiss my boy Bill.
You've just lost your mind.
That's how Bill talks. He's like, he's kind of like Toad, but like kind of he can't talk.
But yeah, so next
Unless
week
he eats the fruit.
Yes,
the fruit that makes him sing like Barry White. I can't wait to watch the fucking Barbie movies, Phil. I want to finish Bratz so we can start Barbie.
That being said, next week we will be talking about our trip to Rhode Island Anime. So
Rhode Island Anime Con.
Well,
it's the second year.
It'll either be
or second or third year that they're doing it. So
we'll find out how it goes. You'll find out next week in the episode. But
yes,
until then, everybody, once again, thank you for joining us on Gaming and Collecting. You can find the Gaming and Collecting podcast on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. And be sure to check us out over on the Superpod Network. That's superpodnetwork.com. Awesome site with a whole bunch of different shows, videos, blogs. What?
Bill, they can also check us out on billboards. I purchased us billboards.
No, you didn't. You don't have that kind of money.
I didn't. But it'd be funny if I did.
Sure.
It'd be funny if I did.
I know that for sure that you do not have the money to afford a billboard.
How do you know?
Because you were complaining about credit cards earlier. I know for a fact you don't have that money.
Well, no, it's more of like, it's more I'm trying to settle back down.
You also were unemployed for like 2 months.
I'm trying to settle back down after that.
I know you did not buy a billboard. But that's besides the point.
Next year.
But anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all later.
Wait. Do you want to hear another fact about my nasal spray?